People live on IG and YouTube. We are ready to go here, and you know what? It's a very, very exciting show to say the least. How are y'all doing tonight on Thursday night, night 2 of 3 potentially? We'll see we'll see how we get on with things and how I feel tomorrow. But again, we're back live here on Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. The fall winter line is out now. That's right, the one I'm modeling in this seat. I'll go one more way around. Fall winter line out now. Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Oh my god, I'm just knocking everything. But anyways, yes. I am back. I am here. Second night in a row, and I had to jump on this one. Great shows. We got a lot of great shows this week. Tomorrow night will be... the Logan Paul Dylan Dennis show, because the fight is happening Saturday night. The fight that we've all waited for, the one we've all anticipated, is Saturday night, and we're gonna get into that on Saturday night on tomorrow night on Talk Live, and how Dylan Dennis's use of art of war tactics, the Sun Tzu polemic, that is quite simply must reading for any strategist, any sort of organization, on any sort of organization reading list. Yes, it's must reading, must watch reading, and how he used the Sun Tzu principles in order to off-put Logan Paul to the point where he's suing he and his girlfriend. I forget her name at the moment. They are being sued by they're suing Dylan Dennis for using widely referred to public available documents in order to show how much of a floozy that he's marrying upcoming, and making a fool out of Logan Paul in and of itself, which is not a bad thing in and of itself. But again, there's a few errors that beset my club, Arsenal Football Club, that I wasn't exactly proud of. But again, at the end of the day, I got to credit Dylan down for what he's done. But that's tomorrow night's show. But again, we are back and we are live here. And we're talking about, this water cooler, coffee table conversations going on throughout North America, if not the world at the moment. And it involves the new book from the one and only Jada Pinkett Smith, Worthy. And it's her expose on her life and her marriage to Will Smith, as I've already said to you in some of the promos. Now, there have been a few revelations that we will soon discuss within this show. And one of the main revelations is the fact that Will and Jada have been living separate lives, and they have been living apart from each other for the last 7 years, since 2016. And it is amazing that they were that thing had allowed to go on this long and nobody knew. But again, these are very good actors, so they can carry on the facade. But again, we're going to have different views as to why he did that. But ultimately, the question tonight is, if Will Smith, after this, another swipe at his character, another swipe at his reputation by Jada Pinkett Smith through this book, if he indeed should finally leave Jada Pinkett Smith. Is it over? Is it time to call it quits? From all intents and purposes, from what Will and Jada have said publicly, they are ride or die. They are bad divorce for life, and bad marriage for life. Sorry, as said in the Red Table Talk, last year, and what led to the embarrassment, the first embarrassment, leading to the second embarrassment of the Oscars, and the third embarrassment, that being today's revelation. Yes, is she 3 strikes and out? We're going to discuss that tonight on Talk Live. But not only that, we're going to discuss a candidate who I truly believe, and you'll see it by video evidence, who I believe Will Smith should move on to if he decides to divorce Jada Pinkett Smith. And not only that, we're going to take a look at how multiple levels of disrespect by Jada that Jada's allowed to happen has led her kids down a very, very damaged path to say the least, even though they have everything that a girl or a boy could want. And not only that, we're talking about Jaden and Willow here. But not only that, we are going to discuss again, like we said, a viable candidate for Will Smith to head on down a much happier route with going forward if he decides to leave Jada. Because quite simply, you can see it on his face, this is not working out well for Will. He's lost his smile, he's lost his shine, he's lost his zest for life, and it's made him act out in very, very distinctively negative ways. And it has put his name in a whole heap of trouble on a few occasions, but most importantly at the Oscars last year, which you can't get that back, quite simply. His squeaky clean image is now gone, and we are left with is a shell of a man who used to light up our lives for the last 3 decades. But let's get into this on tonight on Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get into the browser here. Let's do our thing. Let's get it on. First thing we're going to start out with is, again, we're going to start off with Poor Man's Podcast. Poor Man's Podcast is doing wonderful, and I mean wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things in the YouTube streets. And he's got a quick, yet quite fulfilling and thought-provoking breakdown of this whole saga between Will and Jada, and the announcement that thereafter occurred with Hoda Kotb and Jada Pinkett Smith on their interview on the Today Show as of yesterday, and which led through the bombshells that we've been hearing all of yesterday and today, and more to come going forward in the days and weeks to come. Sorry about that. So yes, let's hear from Mediocre Tutorial Reviews here on Talk Live. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's go.
Brit, until now. There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
right,
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
yes,
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
So what you heard it? That's the biggest bombshell of this book thus far. I'm sure there are more within it if one reads it. However, it was clear that this was if they may not have engaged in a formal divorce, but if there was any declaration of divorce, that was it. That was literally it. Jada coming out and saying that they have been separated for the last 7 years. And she broke the silence. Now, I don't know if this was coordinated on both their parts or she did it on, she went, commando and lone wolf style and decided to do it for herself. But, well, again, it happened. It happened, and I'm sure Will would have something to say about this in the coming days and weeks, but it's definitely left us with the idea that, what was once considered one of the more solid marriages in Hollywood, in show business, was all a sham. It was all a lie. It was all for the cameras and for the upkeep of one, if not both, of the careers of Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith. So we're left with that. We're left with a bit of emptiness, a bit of melancholy. I wouldn't say sadness. Sadness not in this case because, again, these are two people who are very successful, who are very rich, and will get on with their lives as per usual. So, again, we don't have any sadness here, but it does take us aback, to say the least. But I'll let my man Mediocre. That's coming. We'll let our man Poor Man's Podcast continue here.
why she thinks it's necessary for her to keep exposing her family secret. Let's just be honest. Jada hasn't really been relevant since The Matrix. Every time she thinks she can get a little 15 minutes of fame or make some money from a book or a TV show, she throw her family right under the bus. So now you telling us that you and Will were separated since 2016. So when he walked on that stage and slapped another man, he wasn't even slapping cheeks. And then she had the nerve to throw him under the bus after that situation too.
Jada Pinkett Smith has a brand new book out and a deeply coordinated PR blitz this morning with excerpts from the book and a new exclusive TV interview. And she shares her side of the slap story. And her side, she thought it was a skit too. I thought, this is a skit. I was like, there's no way that Will hit him. It wasn't until Will started to walk back to his chair that I even realized it wasn't a skit.
Revelation number 2. I can't believe it. Not only did they live separate lives, they were separated for the last 7 years. Number 2, Will Smith stood up for Jada Pinkett Smith, even though they were apart. They were separate. Number 2, as it says right here, she thought it was a skit. She wasn't in on this. She didn't put him up to this. When we all thought that Will was, that Jada was the puppet master for Will, and he went, it was a look, it was a nod. He went up on stage to defend her honor. He didn't. He went rogue. He literally went rogue. And I'm definitely sure that this was a body blow. So you mean to tell me that not only are you telling the world that you have separated for 7 years, you're telling us now that Will was a lone actor in what was one of the more embarrassing moments in Oscar and, if not, Will Smith's career. For a woman with whom you were separated. I imagine, that's all well and good that you believe that you were protecting all women by, doing this wonderful gesture, as he was referred to in his Oscar Best Actor speech for King Richard. But this woman was not giving you anything in terms of sex sandwich silence. She was not giving you anything in terms of marriage. You were literally separated, but yet you went on stage and embarrassed yourself. Well, I don't know what to say, man. Listen. I don't know whether to try to comfort you or try to talk some sense into you. But that is insane. That is literally. I cannot believe that she broke you down to that last compound and then threw you under the bus, saying, "I didn't know this was going to happen." Instead of a united front, she decided to say, "Nah, he was a lone actor out there. He's doing all sorts of bull crap." Sorry, I never knew. She refused to take a bullet for Will the way that Will took a bullet for Jada for a joke. Now, again, he went a little far, but he was defending her honor. No honor here. No honor here. What can I say? What can I say? Let's continue, man. Oh, wow. Okay.
In her book, Jada writes, "I'm unclear on the reason Will is so upset.
You don't know why he was so angry. That's not what you're supposed to say. Now, I believe that he was wrong, but he walked on that stage and tried to defend her honor. She's supposed to have his back at least. Imagine somebody's harassing your girlfriend and you walk up to him and knock him the fuck out. You punch him in the face so hard his ears touch. They call the police on you, and when the police get there, your girlfriend tells them, "I don't know why he's so angry." That's not what you're supposed to say, bro. You're supposed to lie. You're supposed to tell them anything but that. I was scared. I was embarrassed. I was in fear for my life. You supposed to have my back. If you my girl and I'm trying to defend your honor and you tell the police that, you next. She is hell-bent on humiliating this man for profit. When Will Smith wished her a happy birthday on Instagram, this is what she did in response.
No, please. Before we go there, now, what did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? Shout out to Chanel and M3K Photography. What up, guys? How you guys doing? What did I tell you? strike one. You're separated for 7 years, and you never cared for the dude. And remember, Alcina was during those 7 years. Remember now, she had that entanglement within that 7-year time frame. Remember that now. Remember. And number two, she told the world that he went rogue and didn't want to defend the man when he tried to defend her honor. You see what I'm saying? Accountability like kryptonite? He said, no, he's a crazy one. Me? I don't know. I don't know what he did. It's like he went on his own. Now, if I ask all the women out here, please comment down below if your man went out and defended your honor, and then you, as Poor Man Podcast so eloquently said, literally said that he was a lone actor and you don't know what came over this man, but you need to lock him up after he risked his career for you. I mean, that's the ultimate in disloyalty. That is blasphemy. That is blasphemy. She's playing a game, you say, Chanel? No, she ain't playing a game. She is literally throwing this man under a bus. A big old bus. He said, you're taking the hit, not me. I'm coming out smelling like a rose. But it doesn't stop there. We're about to get to another point here. Okay. Y'all remember that, Tupac is the man who got away in this instance, and Will has gone in on many an occasion. I remember the interview on the Breakfast Club where he literally talked about how Tupac was worshipped by Jada, and he was again the man who got away. But again, there's more to come. There's more to come. So it is a slap in the face. But here's another slap coming. Watch. Listen. Watch this. Watch.
A lovely happy birthday post, man. Happy birthday, mamita. I've been to 28 of your birthdays. Don't know if we can top the one with Rakim. And just for her to respond with the most diabolical birthday post I've ever seen in my entire life. She posts Tupac. She posts a video of her and Tupac singing Parents Don't Understand by Will Smith.
Let me stop that there for a second. Take this in. No, I'm going to rewind it back, and I want you to hear this. This is for their 28th wedding anniversary. This is what Will did. What Will did was get a collage of photos of their happy times together, and they were and their happy years together with all their friends, their family, and celebration of Jada's birthday. Because that's the sort of guy he is. He loved Jada hard. But watch what Jada did in return, people. Oh yeah, watch this.
Happy birthday post, man. Happy birthday, mamita. I've been to 28 of your birthdays. Don't know if we can top the one with Rakim. And just for her to respond with the most diabolical birthday post I've ever seen in my entire life. She posts Tupac. She posts a video of her and Tupac singing Parents Don't Understand by Will Smith as a show of love of, hey, happy birthday to me. Thanks, Will. This is crazy. Our 3 lives would be intertwined.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Did you get that? The slaps keep on coming, people. Yeah. What she did was, if you didn't see it on Talk Live, let me explain. What she did was, she sent, now this is on Instagram. Remember, you had the little collage from Will stating, we had 28 great years. What she said in return was, she had an old video of her and Tupac dancing to Parents Just Don't Understand. Her and the love of her life, Tupac, dancing to his song. And saying that, and she had a little caption saying that now our lives are intertwined. Tell me that is not the height, the haute couture of disrespect. You can't get more disrespectful than that. The man who who tried to erase the memory of Tupac out of Jada's eyesight, mindsight. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Because remember, Will's always here. Tupac's always up here. Always. And she showed it. There was an example. Zero class, you say, Chanel? Oh, absolutely. But now, after the gynocracy, you think that she did nothing wrong. That she, her reputation is, as clean as a driven snow. But that was her retort to him. After he pedestalized this, I think that was part of the problem here. The pedestalization of Jada. She worked it so that, she was the Lady Svengali. She worked it so that she had him kissing her ass on a regular basis for at least, because it's 22 years they're married, take away the 7, I would say 16 to 17 years. He was the apple, she was the apple of his eye. And she rubbed it on his face daily that you will never compare to Tupac to me. Now, to most men, that would have been the signal to say, no, we got to X this out. We got to end this. We got to end this now. But, hey, I'll explain later why he stuck around. I'll explain later. There's another video I'm coming up with as to why he stuck around. But here we go.
Come on, man.
In a million years, I imagine 3 lives, 3 fates would be so intertwined. They're not. You just making them intertwined because you being you, and you should stop. It's like, let it go. Let it go. Will, I don't know how you be doing it, Will. I'm just saying, that looked like true happiness to me. Well, it's not too late. I don't think Margot got nobody. But man, you seem happy right here. You don't gotta put yourself through this no more.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
And I don't know what...
Would you take that level of disrespect? I'm asking you, the audience. Would you take a woman, or would you take a man who took the time to embarrass you on a regular basis in front of the world stage just to watch you burn? Just to see you fall. This is supposed to be your backbone, your other rib, your foundation, and she took time out on a regular basis to embarrass you. Why do we care indeed? You know why we care about this there, MK3K? Because this is, I'll tell you what this is. This is a case study on where tolerance levels must end. This is a case study for men to realize that this level of psychological warfare cannot be tolerated. She took absolute pleasure in breaking down one of the greatest leading men in modern Hollywood history. She took pleasure in it. And yet, as she said in her book, I did nothing wrong. I don't know what happened to him. He went up on stage. I don't know what happened. He just like, I don't know. I don't understand where he came from. Where that sort of, behavior stemmed from. Do you think he did something to her? Thank you very much, Leslie, for that. It's Hollywood. Nothing is well. Clearly, in this case, nothing is real, M3K. Clearly, tonight, you'll realize that nothing is indeed real. Everything's a facade, because these are 2 great actors. If you can carry out a separation for 7 years and nobody knows about it. And to the point where you're still married, you'll continue to still be married. Leslie, I have your point here. Men, you don't think that he did something to her? No. I think he tried to please her in every beck and call. Until he said, you know what? I can't please you. I want to love you, but you don't love me back. That's clear. And so the separation happened, and then Jada went on the offensive. The Red Table Talks, the book, all culminated in the Oscars. That was fait accompli. You did your job. I've finally taken down one of the icons of modern Hollywood. I've done it. And she feels proud of herself. And with a victory dance, she did it with Tupac. Psychologists will rummage over this case study for years and decades to come. How Will Smith was wrapped around Jada's little finger to a point where he is still now a beaten man. But hey, we continue.
What goes on behind closed doors, and I'm not saying Will Smith is perfect, but this is not how you handle situations. Everybody knows that couple that gets into an argument and then they go on Facebook and expose all their secrets. This is that couple, except they're doing it in front of the entire world. She continues to humiliate this man who devoted his life to her by confessing her love for another man that never even really liked her.
Once you paid attention to him, he kind of sucked you in. And we hit it off.
Crack is cheap.
And I'm tired of her always talking about Tupac. What did Tupac?
Let me say something right quick. Let me tell you something right here. This is what you call psychological warfare. This is what you call psychological warfare. In Vietnam, what they used to do when the Americans were out there, they used to play the music loud, and they used to try and get into the soldiers' heads and really have them make mistakes. And that's what Jada's doing here right now. She dropped hints about Tupac at every beck and call, trying to get him to lose his cool, to get him off his game, and to make his reputation sink down the tubes. And she did it. Psychological warfare won. Yes. Jada won, Will nil. As soon as he walked up on stage and slapped Chris Rock in the mouth. How did I forget that? But we'll get into a little more revelation later. But yeah, let's continue.
Tupac wouldn't have with her. I'm tired of that story. It never went down. Oh, Tupac. I know Tupac. Tupac would have been with you.
Man, Tupac liked her so much. Why was he engaged to another woman when he passed away? She was engaged to this man, and you'll hear her endlessly talking about him for clout.
Were you ever jealous of the love Jada had for Tupac?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh
my
no.
God, that dude. And that was in the early days.
Yeah.
That was in the early days.
Back up for a second. Let me go back. Back.
Were you ever jealous of the love Jada had for Tupac?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh my
God, that dude. And that was in the early days.
Yeah.
That was in the early days, and it was like that was a big regret for me too, because I could never open up to interact with Pop.
Mm-hmm.
And because we had a little bit of a thing, right? Because they grew up together, and they loved each other, but they never had that. They never had a sexual relationship, but they had come into that age where now that was a possibility. And then Jada was with me, so Pac had a little thing on that, but she just loved him like he was the image of perfection. But she was with the Fresh Prince.
If Jesus can't save.
I'll let that play out. Sorry, sir. What were you saying? Let me get that back. Wait. What you said? What you said? What you said? Hold on. Will, let him speak. Hold
on. Perfection, but she was with the Fresh Prince.
If Jesus can't save these hoes, why are you trying? What make you think you greater than Jesus, nigga?
Let that sink in. What the man just said. If Jesus can't save these hoes, why are you trying? If Will Smith couldn't save Jada, why are you trying? He caught that little interaction before about, Tupac having a fiance that wasn't. Hey, let me tell you something. That was his fiance. Remember, Tupac's fiance was what's it now? Quincy Jones' daughter, Khadijah. Khadijah Jones was Tupac's fiance. It wasn't Jada. It wasn't Jada. Oh yeah, you didn't think I remember that? Yeah. Yeah. So she wouldn't have been chosen in the first place, but yet she still holds this flame, and she uses that flame to burn Mr. Smith to a crisp, to a point where he walks into the Breakfast Club and he literally says, you know what? The amount of damage I had to take for this one dead Negro, it's a hero, who ended up wanting to marry someone else. You can't make this shit up. Oh, wait, look, it's Kevin. Kevin's here. Hold on. He's got another revelation for you. Hold on just a second. Hold on. Kevin, what were you saying?
Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Can you come back so me and my mommy can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do. Willow. Tupac got killed in what, 95, 96? Willow never met Tupac.
Why does your daughter know so much about a man that she's never even met? She manipulated her daughter into writing a letter about Tupac. She manipulated her son by sleeping with her son's friend. She manipulated her son's friend by sleeping with him when he was going through a tough time. And she continues to humiliate her husband in the public eye.
It's going to be a no for me, dog.
Do you know how to bet?
You getting this? You picking up what I'm putting down? I hope you are. This lady is an official line stepper. Her whole marriage was about taking down Will, while living off his largesse. Because remember, as talented as Jada was, she didn't have much of a career. I mean, we all remember Set It Off. I think she had that doctor show. I'm sure Will helped her get that. But after that, I think she had one horror film and stuff. Oh, she did do The Matrix. But it paled in comparison to Will's career. Will is, some say was, but is still Hollywood A-list. All you have to say Will and everybody says Smith. I think Jada hugely resented that. She was hugely jealous of his success. How could this punk, who could never match up to Tupac, have the career he had? So I believe she systematically, methodically, psychologically tried to break this guy down brick by brick. The only problem was he didn't get out sooner. I think the writing was on the wall. Bad marriage for life and all this other nonsense, but he was a broken man by then. In this instance, this is where I would have just said to myself, you know what? I'm going to take, a multi-million-dollar hit, but for my peace of mind, I'll give it to you. Here, take this and just go. I got to build my credibility back. I got to build my self-esteem back. Every day mentioning Tupac. Telling the man that he's not in his right. Just embarrassing him on every beck and call. Having an affair with Alcina. Then talking about it on there, saying that, oh yeah, I was in an entangled. Did you ever hear of Will Smith's affairs? Just a question for you. Did you ever hear of Will Smith's affairs? You comment to me and let me know. Did anybody? No. He loved her that much that he kept it out of the public eye. But not, oh, shoot. Jada? Oh, no, not Jada. No. That would be too good for her. She couldn't do that. She had one mission in mind, and that was the demise of the reputation of Will Smith. Children be damned, family be damned, you're going down because Tupac ain't here. See the lunacy? Let's continue.
Embarrassing it is to have a man that pops bottles at the club. That's embarrassing.
But you are the same girls that joined the section.
Hold on, I'll just leave it right there. We're going to move on from there. We're going to go on to... listen, I've got a whole slew of this stuff here. A few videos, so buckle up tight. Yeah, we're going to move on with the one and only lead attorney here. Yes, indeed. Shout out to the lead attorney. He's doing wonderful things in these YouTube streets. A 20-year family law attorney, litigation attorney in the state of Georgia. He helped us break down the, Young Jeezy Jenny Mai divorce, which is still ongoing because unlike Will, Young Jeezy wants his peace of mind. Young Jeezy wants to be known as a breadwinner. He wants to be known as the man, as a man. And his happiness is worth way more than a marriage. So we got lead attorney here. He's going to break down a bit of the body language that Jada was giving off during these these turbulent separated years. Again, she appeared on where's it now? What is it now? What's that? Well, she appeared on a talk show, and he's just reading body language here. But we're going to get another body language reader on another subject. Don't worry, it's coming. Let's move on with this.
Y'all know what it is, man. Listen. Now, I always tell you guys that y'all are like, oh, I'm married. I said, how long you been married? 3 years? I said, you ain't married. You ain't married. What do you mean? I got married 3 years ago. Your ass ain't married. Well, we went down to the courthouse and got a marriage license. I said, no, you ain't fucking married. Not to me. To me, a 20-year divorce attorney, a marriage starts at year 7. Don't come to me talking about you're married unless you've been married for at least 7 years. That's when the real marriage appears. And some of y'all know y'all's parents' marriage is not a good marriage. But everybody's applauding the years, right? I mean, no one sees a problem with this, but again, it's because it's a different perspective that I have. Let's watch this shit again.
They're separated.
So how long have you guys been together?
23 years.
Wow.
Oh, what happened there? Just had a little malfunction. Let me just see if I can get that back. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. What the hell happened there? Oh, there we go.
That's amazing.
You see that shit? Nobody asked if it was happy.
You keep it hot.
How do I keep it hot? Maybe I don't know.
All right, shout out to this girl, man. Attorneys, listen, when we're attorneys, we have to cross-examine you. And after you cross-examine people for, let's say about after year 7, year 8 of cross-examining people, you start to get a second sense, an intuition when people are lying on the stand, right? And this is such a good point. The guy is like, you've been married 23 years. How do you keep it hot? Well, what was implicit in his question was her marriage is hot, right? That's what he was saying. It's not like she said her marriage is hot, so she's really not lying. But listen to her answer. Just listen to it. As an attorney who cross-examines people, like this just stood out to me so much. Listen to this. Listen to her answer.
Keep it hot.
How do I keep it hot? Maybe I don't know.
Oh, honey, when anytime, guys, and listen, yeah, I should write a book on how to tell if people are lying or not. If you talking to your wife, man, or your girlfriend, and you ask her something, you look at her phone, who is Mike? Mike, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. If, you ask her who is Mike, oh, man, Mike worked down at this, fine. But if she starts, you'd be like, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Your shit's fucked up.
Yeah, shit was fucked up. Well, just to go show you how great an actress Jada Pinkett Smith was. She couldn't even carry it off. She couldn't even fool us. Well, again, we did not have this revelation, but it didn't fool a trained attorney that Jada Pinkett Smith literally had lost all sense of love for Will at this time. Maybe the love of the fact that he was a father to their children, but other than that, no. It was done. She couldn't even play it off. Now that we know these things, absolutely. But back then, she couldn't play it off. She couldn't play it off. She couldn't play it off. Let me see if there's any comments over here. Then we're going to get on back to this. Let me see. We good. So, back to it. Yeah. I mean, she couldn't even play off the fact. I mean, Will at every beck and call, you would never think this was a bad marriage. Because image is everything to Will. So he's going to play it to the hill. That was probably the role of his life, being Jada's husband. The role of Will Smith's life was playing Jada's husband, especially during those last 7 years. It was taxing on him. It was tiring on him. He put on weight because of it. No doubt about that. And she couldn't even play it off her damn self. Wonder she ain't getting no roles. If she can't act out a real marriage, what the hell do you think you're gonna give her a goddamn contract and role for? And remember, she still works, no doubt. I'm sure due to her talent, but every reason being because she was the wife of Will. Remember, she's sailing into her 50s now. Leading ladies usually don't get top roles at this time unless they're top actresses, like a Meryl Streep, or a Sally Field, or a Angela. What was it? Viola Davis, or name your favorite actress, older actress. They're usually at the top of their game. Well, Jada ain't there. She ain't on those lists. So what does she have to do? She has to sit at red tables and write books, desecrating a man in order to see profit. Isn't that fun? Isn't that loyalty? Oh shoot. Wind it back here anyway. Hold on. There we go. Lost my place there, guys. Lost my place. Let's go.
If you talking to your wife, man, or your girlfriend, and you ask her something, you look at her phone, who is Mike? Mike, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. If, you ask her who is Mike, oh, man, Mike worked down at this, fine. But if she starts, you'd be like, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Your shit's fucked up. Guys, if someone asked me how to be a successful YouTuber, I could talk to you guys for hours on that. I have 2 courses on that. 2 courses, hours and hours, both courses are probably 30 hours. How do you become a successful YouTuber? A successful live streamer on YouTuber? You ain't never going to hear me say, I'm be like, no, first you need to pick a niche.
Let's move on from there. He's just basically selling stuff, but we're gonna get into this. Hold on.
Just my question is, I feel like you're a straight talker.
I am.
You are. So you're a straight talker. All right. You say it to us straight.
Except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, this is an attorney. I don't know who this white woman is. Y'all remember back in the day, it was who was it? Kelly Griffith, and then it was that white woman with Regis. I don't know who this lady is. She could be an attorney. Look at Jada's face. Jada's like, oh, you fucked me. She set Jada up. This is an attorney move right here. This is an attorney move. Now, you're a straight talker. I am. You always tell the truth. I do. You got good character. Yes, I do. You don't lie to us. I don't. Except when you do lie. Oh, well, yeah. Oh, this white lady set Jada up. This is how Will should have been. Will should have been a white woman. Will should have been setting Jada up. I mean, as an attorney, I can appreciate this move right here. This white woman came with it.
Already split. So I guess my question is, I feel like you're a straight talker.
Oh, sorry. Let me say, y'all are saying that she's black. My bad. That makes me feel better. I'm sorry. I didn't know I seen this shit.
Because sometimes, listen, as great as a man, the lead attorney is, he can get a bit excitable, but it's all right.
That's a lie. When does the fantasy go away? In year 7. In year 7, there's no more fantasies. She's still lying. You cannot get the truth out of this lady for shit. No one has been married for 23 years still stuck in a fantasy. No one. I'm telling you as a 20-year divorce attorney. Are there fantasies at the wedding? Yes. Are there fantasies when you're arm in arm feeding each other the cake? It's all fantasy at the wedding. 3 months in, she comes home and you dig hard as hell. You're like, oh my God. You come home and she got the butterflies in the stomach. 3 months, it's a fantasy. In year 7, she walk out the shower butt naked. It's like, man, if you don't get out my face, I'm trying to watch the game. I know you like the game, but what about this? I don't give a shit about that. Like, the game is on. The Falcons are playing. We're down by 7. Come on now, there's 2 minutes left. Can you move out of my way?
Fair use.
And that's in year 7. Year 23, I'm still stuck in a fantasy, man. This lady just bullshit. The whole thing is bullshit, man. Let's go.
Relationship fracture.
Oh, why a fracture? That's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think by the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be.
Lying.
Jada says she considered a legal divorce, but could never go through with it.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce.
Wait. I can't even. She made a promise. Wait, I gotta hear that. I gotta hear the exact language. Let me hear the exact language of her promise.
A legal divorce, but could never go through with it.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce.
Wait a minute. She made a promise that there will never be a reason for her to get a divorce. She made a promise that there will never be a reason for her to get a divorce.
I'll stop that right there. Let me get back into this. There was a reason why she would make a promise not to make a divorce, because quite simply, as much as she trashed him, she needed him. She needed him to be, to have the Smith name on your driver's license, your ID, your signature, your authorization. It carried weight. She was linked to one of the more powerful actors in Hollywood. It carried weight. So, as much as she wanted to live separate from him, believe me, she knew that she couldn't get another Will. He could get another Jada for sure. But he can get better than her. But the fact of the matter is, she could not get another Will. She was in the same category as Beyonce. There are only so many Will Smiths going around. And she realized when push came to shove, I ain't leaving this. You're going to have to divorce me. So I'm here for all the perks of being Will Smith's wife. Jada Pinkett Smith was born at night, not last night. She realized that this was her final shot at fame, adulation, privilege. Anyone else? She wouldn't do a Tia Mowry where she married like a very good, but let's face it, a B actor. She went back out in these streets and realized that, oh snap. They may remember me for Sister, but they wanted me for anything else. So it was a very calculated move for Jada to stay with Will. Make no doubt about that. We're going to leave you the lead attorney right here for now. And we're going to move on swiftly. Where did it go here? Yes. Move on swiftly to Coach Greg Adams. Coach Greg Adams, subscribe to Coach Greg Adams. Wonderful things on his YouTube streets. And he brings things full circle in that he's saying that they both needed each other. Not only did Jada need Will, quite clearly, but Will needed Jada. And it's played out in this video that went quite viral last year about Will Smith in his downtime not wanting to be filmed by Jada. If you've all seen this, hey, please chime in. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, as you know. But this is probably the most candid you will see Will ever, I would say, from behind the camera. Let's do this.
Of Jada was recording Will, and I was like, why would he do this? And I was like, he's holding her hostage.
You know, Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Because she don't just...
She helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another.
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start. I'm standing in my house.
Please watch us stare at the red table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you tell?
All right, you just have... All right, and so I think that video came out, and again, people automatically, they will take the...
That's about as candid as you're going to see Will Smith. He's pissed off that day. He's tired of the antics. He's tired of the games. He's tired of the red table talk. Because I'm sure that video came out after the whole show about Alcina Auguste and the entanglement that they got themselves into. He was tired of Jada. Literally tired of Jada. And he wanted nothing to do. He didn't want anything to do with her. And quite simply, he was pissed off. I mean, but as he said, his image is on the line. He can't react adversely. I'll let Coach Greg continue with this.
Right, red pill talking point, and it'll be like, she's embarrassing him. She don't respect him. And I took the opposite. I said, he needs her. And the only reason he's putting up with this shit is because he needs her. He's holding her hostage. I might have even said Jada's holding him hostage, but I think I said Will Smith is holding her hostage, and he needs her, so he has to put up with this shit. Now, people, when I take these positions, they're, oh man, come on, that's not a red pill talking point, coach. You got to cook her. Cook that black woman. She's a typical black woman. And I'm like, nah, I don't see that. I see it as I see it. It's only I can give you the real. Will needs Jada. Jada don't need Will at this point. In my opinion, Jada could divorce great Will to kingdom come right now. Right now. Jada could walk up out of there and strip Will of everything. Somebody said, why he need her? Did you not hear me? I just told you. He needs the facade. Look. I know most of us gas station attendants don't understand. I'm going to tell you what. You're a gas station attendant. But even gas station attendants have girlfriend and wives even if corporate guys, you have a girlfriend and wife to play the role. Most of you guys want a girlfriend so you can look good in public. Will Smith, because you work at the gas station, you don't understand. Will Smith will be talked about after he dies. Maybe for not long, but he will be somewhat immortalized as an actor, as somebody to speak positive to. He doesn't need an L next to his name. An L for him would be a massive divorce where he gets broken down and exposed potentially for who he is. And that he does not want you to see. Nobody wants to see his sexual indiscretions. Nobody wants to see potentially that if he's had affairs with women or men. He doesn't want anybody to see that.
That's a very good point raised there by Coach Greg Adams in the fact that yes, Jada definitely needs Will, but Will needs Jada. He's right. I think he's right in this point. He has an image to uphold. He has a reputation to protect. He cannot allow for it to fall through a divorce, an ugly divorce where a lot of his dirty laundry may be aired. There are rumors of his marital affairs. There are rumors of his, questionable sexuality, as most Hollywood people will say. But again, that's par for the course. You just got to ride with that. Even though for most it may not be the case. But he's right. He doesn't want all his dirty laundry getting out there after a man has worked on his image for 30 plus years. To a point where it was pristine until last year. Pristine and one of the best backgrounds in Hollywood. Squeaky clean image. A PR studio dream. The guy never got in trouble. Never was caught outside drinking abnormally. Never involved in lewd behavior. The man did his job and did it well. And he made millions of dollars at the box office. He's a bankable Hollywood star. And he didn't want that reputation being sullied by a divorce or a pissed off wife. So you saw the reaction he had there. It's like, hey, back off. You got to back off. Even though she did insult him, he said, oh, here we go again with this damn attitude. He had to sit there and take it. Just like they said in Goodfellas, he had to sit there and take it. Because he knew he was on camera for the world to see, and if he was seen going off, his image goes out in flames. Money's on the line. That's a man, when called upon, who guarded his reputation with his life and played the role to perfection. Unlike where Jada did there in that talk with Queen Latifah et al., where she literally could not bring herself to tell him what the secret is to marriage. Say something. Oh, we love each other. Oh, we have date nights. Oh, say anything. She stood there. What? Man, come on.
He wants everybody to see him. Even the slap to Chris Rock, which will be one of the most memorable things he's ever done. He wants to be forever seen as the guy that did everything right. I did everything right. I won an Academy Award. I was a top-selling recording artist. I was a top-selling movie actor. I had the wife. And this is divorce number 2. He doesn't want to be remembered for these things. He needs her for that. I know people can't see it, but that's how I look at it. If he wanted to, he could have got rid of her. But he would have had to pay her off. You had to pay her off. Now this is another thing for him that people are going to remember. I don't think...
I think we're gonna stop right there for now. We're gonna let IG go. We're gonna come on back for the second hour on IG and YouTube. So stick around. There's more revelations to come, including a hit was dropped earlier as to who Will Smith may get with in future. Just saying. Yes, we are back live on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Welcome back to Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Now, it seems that, well, as Coach Greg Adams said, we're still continuing the whole Will Smith, Jada Pinkett story saga, and if Will should go, and if so, to whom should his new paramour be going forward? But as was said by Coach Greg Adams in the last hour, Will has to pay big money to keep her mouth shut because, again, he doesn't want any sort of bad press or secrets to get out to the public because that may cost him his career. As he said in the impromptu chat with Jada, he said, you know what, I have an image to uphold, and I don't want this image sullied without you letting me give you permission to speak on my behalf, because he wasn't ready for it. He said he's not, because remember, Will Smith's always camera ready, but you got to let him get into the process first. He's not going to be filmed all willy-nilly for anybody else's enjoyment. You know what I mean? He has an image to hold. He has a reputation to protect. So let's continue with that.
I think he wanted this, and she wants out of there. This is why she posted, if I'm not mistaken, she probably posted, I think a couple weeks ago on Tupac's birthday? She posted a video of Tupac and her dancing together. And everybody was like, dang, she's disrespecting Will. She's disrespecting Will. Dude, Will don't give a shit, and they already been separated. He wants the perfect image. You guys don't understand. Will Smith's image is carefully crafted.
There it is.
It's carefully crafted. Only thing you see from him is what he wants you to see. If his deepest dirty secrets got out, it would change the entire perception. And you guys don't understand a guy that is hell-bent like Will. I think he is, like I said, I've never really been comfortable with him. He wants his kids to be perfect. They're anything but that. They're out of control. They're like their mom.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to be seen as he wants to be Bill Cosby. Let me just say, he wants to be Bill Cosby.
He's got a point there. I think Will Smith does want to be America's dad. I think he wants to be the the man with the squeaky clean image and a great family, even though the family is a bit, well, genes don't lie. It's a bit screwed. It's a bit nutty, a bit out of sorts, really. So, but still, he keeps trying. And remember, he said it on film. He said, I don't want myself filmed without me being prepared for that eventuality. Any sort of impromptu filming, he will not tolerate because he's not ready. He's not camera ready. His hair's not ready. He's not got the right clothes. He doesn't have. He hasn't been inboxed by his PR agent, his agent or his PR director. He has a perfectly sculpted image. He didn't want to lose it. But the thing about Jada was, it was her job to break it down. It was her job to stay on the offensive and have Will's squeaky clean image be wiped off the face of the earth. And it finally came to a head last year at the Oscars. And guess what? She said herself, she never put him up to it. No. All these little things, all these little digs, all these little filmings here, all those little Tupac shots. It was all for a cause, and that was to get Will off his game, to ruin that squeaky clean image, to a point where now all people remember is the slap. Even though he's had great work for the last 30 years, they'll still remember the slap.
Let's just put it like that. He wants to be Bill Cosby. He's an actor, not just on the screen, but his entire life has been an act. And if you can't see this, I don't know what to tell you. He could have left her a long time. Matter of fact, wasn't the rumor that they were in an open relationship? Yes. And the rumor was he had a couple of women over here and potentially another man. All right, that's been out there. So,
and I heard that years ago, to be fair. My aunt, it's a quick story. My aunt runs a beauty shop in town. And I believe when Will Smith was here filming, I don't know what the film was, but another film here, one of his bodyguards was here and basically came over to the beauty shop and spilled tea. And basically she said that, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith were living separate lives. We didn't believe it then. But he did say, he did come out with the revelation that Will and Jada had different lives. He had different women. She had different men and women. He said that Jada, well, again, it was allegedly. Let me say that. Fair use, allegedly. She had not only had affairs with males, but with females as well. And vice versa with Will, as Coach Greg Adams was saying, he referred to the fact that Will Smith had affairs with men and women. But again, these were allegations that wouldn't be able to stick. So therefore, but again, it would if you had someone who was there at Ground Zero testify to that. That would be Jada Pinkett Smith. Therefore, he does not want to leave this woman because he doesn't want his reputation sullied. He may have to remain in this relationship rather than go rogue and do it on his own. But I think his happiness is worth more, and I think he should leave her because again, I think the depression is there for all to see, and it's showing on his face, and it's not a pretty sight. Let's continue.
So him getting another woman, another young bitch, another young woman to marry, that doesn't do anything for him. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't make him a better guy. I divorced Jada because she was old and got a younger woman. He can already have that. He already can afford that. He can buy that. He can have that. He's already had that. There was another, remember there was all these models that were supposedly his girlfriend and everybody's like, he's cheating. He already got young broads. That doesn't do anything to him, but it does potentially bring his reputation down. So that's why he hides it. That's why Bill Cosby hid that. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be a guy running around here. He might like to do what he needs to do out here in terms of other people in the industry. He doesn't need to be seen as a guy that likes men and women.
Be right back.
He can't be seen at that. So he has to have Jada. He needs her. He needs her. This is my opinion on this. You don't have to agree with it. He needs her more than she needs him. And when I say he's the one probably keeping this facade, watch this. Watch this. I'm going to show you. And this is just an opinion. And everything I say is a legend. If indeed, this is 2020, I'm going to pull this video up. Remember, she said they've been separated since 2016. Why would they do this video? Hold on a second. Let's see. Where's the video here? Okay. If they've been separated since 2016, why would Will come on Red Table and do this video talking about I think they were insinuating that, hey, she has another guy, or, he was insinuating they're still together as a married couple. The slap to Chris Rock is insinuating they still have it's Will. It's Will acting. It's clearly him. He could have came out right then and there and told the truth. And he didn't. Why is he crying and acting hurt when they were already separated for 4 years at that point? It's an act. A
very good point raised there by Coach Greg Adams. It may just be an act. You're right. I mean, Will is a very good actor. He's won an Oscar. It may indeed just be an act. And in order to protect his good image, his squeaky clean A-list image, that is definitely a possibility. That has to be taken under consideration.
This is my opinion. He was faking it. Faking the emotions, faking the hurt, protecting the image. The entanglement thing, the crying meme. Why would he do that if at that point they were separated for 4 years by that point? Guys, I'm telling you, man, this is what it is. He needed to have this, hey, we're still a married couple, we're in love, we're working it out. You were doing this, you were left me for him, and it kind of hurt me. Completely an act. So he needed to keep this up. He's the one, because the common thought was that Jada made Will come on the show. I'm not saying, I don't believe so. I think he wanted to go on that show because it doesn't make sense for him to do it. Now, if you actually just bring it down and understand it, he needed to keep up the image. So that's why he put himself out there to humiliate himself, to keep up the image. Look, let me see. Hold up.
Is a miracle.
When couples get to the point where they are done.
Now you got, the couples relationship therapist. Fair use.
Opening up about the extramarital romance.
I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again.
I know.
Yeah, like the fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle.
Okay, and you know what? I think he's got something to that. I think he really does have something to that. What Coach Greg Adams had to say there, and that is, I mean, he's playing a role. He's very good at what he does. He's acting now. He's playing the role of a hard done by husband, and Jada's playing the villain. Quite simply. So with that, it is garnering favor for Will Smith in this instance, in a sort of twisted way. And we all felt sorry for Will. Some of us, want to hate on Will. Let's face facts here, but we all felt sorry for Will because Jada put him through something that he didn't deserve. So it played right into his hands. This acting job may have won him an Oscar. To be fair, if he had to think outside the box. That Red Table Talk could have won Will Smith an Oscar. Because it curried enough favor for him in the eyes of even the Oscar judges for Best Actor to a point where it gave him an Oscar. The only thing was that the Oscars came and he went to accept the award, and quite simply, but by that time it was too late. His reputation had already been sullied. So, but again, yeah, I totally agree with what Coach Greg has to say there, and that is, there is that idea that Will needed Jada more than we all thought. Because it helped him keep his squeaky clean image to a point where people felt sorry for him and gave him an Oscar. So, to be fair, let's just leave it at that. Thank you very much to Coach Greg Adams for that again. Great commentary on that. And we're going to now, wait a second, we're going to go into Chisa Zed and his, what's it now? Yes, indeed. This the Coffee Pod. And great show here. But I'm just going to show a snippet of activity here with regards to the Coffee Pod, just with regards to the marriage and how it looked. Even though it was a facade, It was still a marriage, a viable marriage, and yeah, we are looking now. We're going to give reasons why the marriage was allowed to carry on. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's go.
When I talk about divorce rates and just how quickly people give up on marriages, and in most times modern women initiating a divorce, never have I personally said that there's never a reason to leave. That's an extreme. If there's any time to leave a marriage, this is it. But unfortunately, guys, we can't even use the standards of traditional marriages to compare this relationship to, because Jada was actually very clear in the beginning of her relationship with Will Smith. I know because he says it in a book that he wrote, that she didn't want a traditional relationship and marriage. Jada never believed in conventional marriage. Jada had family members that had unconventional relationship. So she grew up in a way that was different than how I grew up, he said. So that was Will Smith. Right?
Okay. I'm going to take that back again. And this is part of the reason why I think Will Smith became depressed. And now this is from his his autobiography book, Will, that came out, I believe last year, 2022. But this laid the foundation not only for the state of the marriage that Will and Jada have, but also how their children were affected by that marriage to a point where now, I don't know. But let me rewind it back again. Very important, those words right there. Let's go with this.
That she didn't want a traditional relationship and marriage. Jada never believed in conventional marriage. Jada had family members that had unconventional relationship. So she grew up in a way that was different than how I grew up, he said. So that was Will Smith right there talking. So they were kind of just doing their own thing, letting other people into the relationship, and I'm talking about sexually. And this is what it's turned into. A huge mess. No more wasting time.
So, again, great comment there from, and I just wanted to minimize this commentary here because I think there are more people that jump in on this. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. But what? Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALKINE.com. Fall winter line out now. Yes, it's remarkable that was said in his autobiography, in that Jada only enjoyed only saw alternative relationships in her youth. Meaning that, there could have been gay relationships, there could have been polygamous relationships, there could have been lesbian relationships, there could have been all these things that factored into Jada's creation. Where Will Smith was very traditional. He had a mother, he had a father. They're both at home. No messing around. He was he was just very vanilla in his marriage proposals and dealings. Very, very straight and narrow.
Tom, let's check it out.
So many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had
we're going to leave it there for now because we've already been through that once before.
True?
Right.
Was that in...
So we're going to move on quickly to... yes. Now, again, we've given sympathy. We've given sympathy to Jada. I mean, listen, we've allowed her some grace in the last instance, especially with Coach Greg Adams, in the sense that, you know what? Will needed a relationship as much as Jada needed a relationship. It was a mutually beneficial marriage where Will would have his reputation elevated because most successful men are married. Remember that. Most successful men are married indeed. So it gives him that level up in terms of in terms of his relationship with Jada. Number two, gave him, access to movie roles and such, allowing him for an Oscar because he's a family man. And his reputation, his pristine reputation remained unsullied until, quite simply, the summer of our discontent. So let's break it down with mediocre tutorial reviews. Like, subscribe, comment on the mediocre tutorial reviews, doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. And he is, let me say this, a self-confessed Will Smith fanatic. And he did not exactly like how his friend was being mistreated out there. So again, we're going to let mediocre tutorial reviews continue on. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's go!
Of his name publicly, or you can go out like Will Smith. Image forever tarnished because of his direct relationship with a witch. Look at that evil, maleficent gaze.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely.
It's so crazy how she can smile her way through this.
Separate lives. Yes. It was not a divorce on paper, right, but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
What? Is that a diamond on her tooth? This bitch crazy.
I believe she is, yes.
Y'all have been apart. Yeah.
There's so many things to go over just based off of this news right here. First off, this makes the slap at the Oscars even worse. Will, you got outside of your frame for a woman who you were separated from for 6 years. Also, Jada, you had a whole Red Table Talk show where the moniker was about being authentic and transparent. Why didn't the public know about the shit back during your entanglement phase? Now, mind you, it's still monster-like behavior to have sex with your son's friend who's going through some mental health issues. However, Will's image would have been less impacted if everybody knew that you guys were separated. So you brought Will through that entire Red Table Talk journey for nothing. You continue to embarrass him for naught. But you decide to release this information when it's in your book, when you can make money off of it. Absolutely absurd.
Again, he's right on all counts on that. He's right on all counts. Jada is a walking irony. She's literally, she's basically selling his reputation yet gaining on it. She is throwing him under the bus, even though it was she shared in the biggest night of his career. Oh, sorry. And quite simply, she is the harbinger of his demise, quite simply. Of Will Smith's demise. No two words about it.
Absurd, entitled, and narcissistic behavior. But guys, when you put the totality of the relationship into perspective, here's what you got. Hollywood blue-pilled actor who wants nothing more than to have a family gets into a relationship with an alpha widow from Tupac Shakur. Actor believes that he's found true love and the potential mother of the remainder of his children after failed marriage previously, and gets married to you, Jada, even though you say that you didn't want to be married to him. Actor continues in his career to be one of the brightest talents the world has ever seen. But you, as the alpha widow and the forever feminist, not happy. And this begins to slowly chip away at his sanity as well as his mental health. So much so is that we can see the impact with the children, even though you in the position that millions of women would have wanted to be in, you still weren't happy.
Did you ever feel like Jada was ungrateful?
I think mediocre tutorial reviews laid it out so clear there. Yes, Will has to take some L's for staying in this relationship, but at the end of the day, she had a plan. let it be said, let it be known. She had a plan, an absolute plan to psychologically disembowel Will Smith. Now again, he's part of this whole demise because he acted things out that was totally out of character, but yet wasn't backed by Jada. Now it's not backed. But not only that, but the reputation he so carefully sculpted and planned is now gone. It's now literally gone. Even though he's still a very memorable actor, it's going to take years for him to build that back, if at all. And so we need to keep that in mind going forward. And the fact of the matter is, it left a shell of a man who had the world at his feet, but yet not a wife who wanted to support him. Clearly not.
Hell yeah. Told you guys before, if they come from a tortured past, tread extremely lightly. And although he tried everything in his blue-pilled mind...
Remember, she came from a tortured past. She only saw alternative relationships. She never saw a mother and father in a house in which they both supported and loved each other. A strictly tradcon nuclear marriage. She came from alternative sources. So it would have not been out of the ordinary to see drama. It would have not been out of the ordinary to see an alternative lifestyle. It would have not been out of the ordinary to see no male role model at home. And that exhibited in the sense that she did not want to marry Will. She said that clearly. She didn't want to marry Will, but at the end of the day, he convinced her to do it. To a point now where Will is, he's at wit's end. Because he knows if he leaves, she's taking a good chunk of it with her. And if he stays in an unhappy marriage. So they have this agreement of a separation, but is he truly happy? No. He wants Jada to love Will, but she will never do it. Because she's already said, Tupac is number one. You're not. Even though you give me the life I've always wanted, a life that Tupac could maybe never give me, you're always second best. And that, my friends, is the ultimate tragedy of all. And quite simply, it's up to Will to leave, but I pretty much know where I stand on this issue.
To keep the marriage afloat, it still wasn't good enough for you. But because through Will's accolades and value to the world, a family business was being built, and divorce might jeopardize the money. So everybody kept a damn facade. So much so that we have pop culture icons putting you into music talking about that Will and that Jada love. And then we find out about the eerie, peculiar details regarding your marriage via your red table talk. Then we hear about the entanglement. And then we watch Will Smith get up on stage and smack Chris Rock in the face. And get this, Jada also claims that Chris Rock tried to get at her. Jada Pinkett Smith tells People Chris Rock asked her out one summer amid divorce rumors with Will Smith. She's quoted as saying, he called me and basically he was like, I'd love to take you out. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He was like, well, aren't you and Will getting a divorce? I was like, no, Chris, those are just rumors. He was appalled and he profusely apologized. And that was that. And my only
Stop! Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Oh, wait a minute. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? You two. I'm gonna let that marinate for a second. Let me see if there's any comments here. Are you thinking what I am thinking? Are we good here? We're at? Okay. Are you thinking what I'm thinking right here? He called me and basically he was like, I'd love to take you out. What do you mean? He was, well, aren't you with Will getting a divorce? I was like, no, Chris, those are just rumors. Now, I don't know if this chat is true, but if it is true, I'm sure this is my there we go. This is my conspiratorial thinking cap on in full effect. He said, let me see if I can use this to my advantage. Let me put a word in Will's show light in his earshot, saying that, you know what? Chris Rock hit on me once. Yeah. And he did this and this and this and this and this to me. So that, are you getting what I'm putting down here? Are you getting what I'm putting down? Do you understand? She put this in his ear to a point where as soon as he made that one joke at the Oscars, he remembered that. And it was like a touch paper. He said, bang! Now I got him. Watch how he reacts. I'm sure knew of this interaction between Chris Rock and Will Smith. And Jada Pinkett. And that forced Will to say, hey, I'm on alert. So if he makes fun of my wife, it's on. And so said, so done. And we have seen Oscar history.
Response to this is simply, Cap, I don't believe a damn thing you say, Jada. I'm going to have Chris corroborate this story. This relationship is going to forever be a case study in sectors of the internet like this so that young men can continue to learn from Will Smith blue-pilled simpish days to understand the mistakes that he make and ensuring that we don't make the same mistakes in our life as well. But we must continue to extrapolate the lessons learned. And here's some of the biggest lessons of this. Gentlemen, listen to me. Marrying evil is a guaranteed path to ruining your kingdom as well as your reputation. Just think about how it's resulted within their kids. We know some crazy shit about their lives. Willow having a corn addiction.
I went on Willow's Tumblr. She was 10 or 11, and she said, Mom, and she's very matter of fact, she was like, I'm going to my Tumblr page, but as we're going to the Tumblr page, you're going to see a lot of stuff. It says nothing to do with me. So I was like, okay, so she's just scrolling. And when I tell you, I saw some of the most hardcore pornography on Tumblr.
It wasn't, Mom. It really wasn't.
It was hard.
It really wasn't.
It was
She's
hardcore for you to be seeing that freaking 11 years old.
You don't think that marriage, that loveless marriage, that arrangement did not take a toll on their kids? To the point of porn addiction on their daughter at 11? To the point of her writing letters to a dead Tupac, hoping he was alive to bring a smile to his mother's face? You don't think that these maneuvers by Will and Jada didn't take a toll on their kids? Don't let her continue.
I could not believe that.
No, Tumblr is more of the artistic aspect of it, though.
Not what I saw. Wasn't nothing artistic about that. I saw some.
I don't remember what you saw, but
yeah,
what I know
remember graphically.
What I know about Tumblr.
I was like, Willow, and she was like, don't even pay attention to it. We're getting to my page. I was like, I can't.
You don't think that you don't find that suspicious, as my man Dr. Umar Johnson would say? You don't find that suspicious that she had this sort of porn addiction at 11? And that that might have been because of the abnormal relationship that Jada had to live through once and yet twice and acted out in her own in her own marriage and acted out on their child's behavior at 11? Oh, there's more though. Oh, listen, Willow wasn't the only one.
I can't believe kids are exposed to this on a daily basis. I was profoundly disturbed.
Jaden with his fingernail polish wanting to be self-emancipated.
15 years old, Jaden. And I remember this day specifically. It was probably one of the most heartbreaking moments of my life.
Remember, this woman majors in abnormal relationships. Her family was filled with abnormal relationships. What do we see now? Abnormal relationships. The same way Jada had to view it when she grew up. She refused to break the unlucky streak, and it carried on into her own family. Into Willow. Into Jaden. To a point where Jaden's now, well, I'll let them tell it.
You got to a point where you told me straight up, you were like, Mom, I have to leave here to live my life.
Totally.
And I remember thinking to myself, as devastated as I was like, he's right. Yeah. The time is now. He's 15.
The time is now. He's 15. He needs to move on. I've dealt with abnormal relationships before. That was my life. And now you must live through me. Or I must live through you. Totally makes sense. Are you connecting the dots here, people? I hope so.
It's time for him to leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have never agreed with that.
I told Will when Jaden was smaller, I said we'd be lucky to keep him in the house till he's 16.
It says a lot about a young man that says, nope, I need to be out of here by 15 years old. It makes you really question, think about, and wonder the things that were going on that he thought was not a good look for him to stay in. Okay? Now, the next couple of...
Remember, yeah, Jaden was wearing dresses. You didn't see that? Jaden's wearing dresses. Jaden professed his love for Tyler, the Creator. Those Oscars a few years back. Remember that? Abnormal relationships. It's part of the Pinkett DNA. We'll try to change it, but she was hell-bent. I'm revisiting the past.
Clips here are what the young man started to do right after that. And I will say this, there is not a man, a father on this planet that wants to watch their young boy begin to dress like a woman in skirts and sequin shit. None of that. But I think this truly is the result of what happens if the nuclear family, if the father is not as present, or if the mother who has come from a tortured past takes over. It's not to say that all mothers do that. Porking your...
Again, no strong male image at home. He's on the road doing what he had to do to support his family. Couldn't be there all the time. And guess who was mother-in-chief? The queen of abnormal relationships. And they re-exhibited themselves on both Willow and Jaden. To a point where Jaden was showing up in skirts, and Willow was searching porn and writing Tupac at the age of 11. And although Will had his traumas as well, remember, he didn't have a squeaky clean family life, to be sure, but it was damn sure an upgrade on what Jada had to go through. And it's unfortunate that it visited her kids, and they grew up maladjusted, to be fair. Throwing their hair back and forth, painting their nails, wearing dresses. Lack of a male role model in the house. That's what happens when you leave the upbringing to the ladies, especially this one.
The son's mentally ill friend.
When I was young, I definitely think I had a sex addiction of some kind. Yes, that everything could be fixed by sex.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all. And I was really able to do some really deep healing.
Mm-hmm.
It was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
Yeah. And I totally gave myself to that relationship for you.
Remember him? That's Alcina. Remember him? She had some really deep... They had some really deep therapy sessions. Really deep. As was already stated. Oh, man. Come on.
Years of my life.
Clearly what happened.
And I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship.
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely.
The idea that everything can be fixed by sex is a mentality that doesn't make any inkling of sense. Oh, but wait. When the young boy comes with mental health issues and you think that anything can be fixed by sex, is then the logic that your sex can...
Remember, look at this picture. Just look at it for a second. Look at it. Jaden, Willa, August Alsina, Jada Pinkett Smith. The poster children of abnormality. One thinks he's gay. The other one thinks well, her head's in the clouds or wherever. You have August Alsina with serious psychological issues that went undiagnosed and was never helped out by the one who took advantage of of those issues. That was Jada Pinkett Smith. You can't make a picture like this up. You can't. Remember, August was a friend of Jaden. Ain't this the modern day home led by a modern woman who loves alternative relationships?
Can help mend this young boy that's going through a serious time in his life? It's been right in front of us all along.
Yep.
Yes. Hosting the self-snitch trauma table, the red table talk, where you continue to embarrass Will, speaking about his sexual performance as a husband. Listen to this bullshit.
About navigating the communication gaps in her relationship, well, on the table.
It's hard.
I know. I'm
I
sure.
mean, the thing that Will and I talk about a lot is the journey. I mean, we started in this at a very young age, 22 years old.
It's crazy.
That's why the accountability part really hit for me, because I think you expect your partner to know, especially when it comes to sex.
Right.
It's like, well, if you love me, you should know.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you love me,
you should be able to read
read my mind.
Yeah.
Admitting to grandma teaching you about masturbation?
My grandmother taught me about self.
Remember, she majored in abnormal relationships to a point where her grandmother gave him sex chats, and her mother sat there nodding, totally complicit, seeing nothing wrong with it. Such is the gynocracy at play.
Pleasuring because she wanted me to know that that pleasure was from me. And she taught me at 9.
Or even how it used to be.
Stop! Did you hear that? Did you just hear what she just said? She got sex education from her grandmother at 9 years old. 9 years old. The gynocracy strikes again, people. And not in a good way. You don't think these abnormal practices, relationships seeped into the consciousness of the kids? To the point where Willow's wearing dresses and... Willow's wearing dresses and dealing with porn at 11. And Jaden is professing a love for Tyler, the Creator, at, 16, 17? Mm-hmm. Will tried his best to stop it, but this is all a part of the breakdown. It's all part of the plan, as the Joker would say.
Life was about, because there was a certain kind of lifestyle and way I wanted to live. I never wanted to depend on a man to take care of me, so I was in the streets selling drugs. I never wanted to be married.
continuing to proclaim your love for Tupac. This is the letter that Willow wrote.
We've been there.
Tupac.
We've done that.
Dear Tupac, I know you're alive someplace.
Let's continue.
Without asking me if you could film me.
Again.
Without asking me if you could film me.
Again, this was boiling point. This is where, if looks could kill, she would be dead by now. She'd be literally dead by now. He was fed up with her attitude and antics. She was fed up with the state of his kids. He was fed up at being cheated on. He was fed up at the state of his marriage. Fed up with Tupac being thrown in his face at every beck and call. Are you counting the sins? Count them. That she put that camera in his face and said, girl, if you don't get that camera out of his face, I will smack it out of your hands. But as he said...
Again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Because she don't just...
Would you say that...
If that's not the look in the face of a beaten and disheveled man that doesn't even have control of his own household, then I don't know.
I'll go one better, MTR. That's the sound and that's the look of a pissed off dude. Very pissed off. Extremely angry. But he couldn't lose his cool because he'll lose his reputation and he'll lose his livelihood. As he so eloquently states again here.
What is? This is the 1,000-yard stare. This is the married guy, the married unhappy guy stare. This is a man that didn't understand that a woman's need to be right will beat you into a verbal submission, one of which the male spirit is just not prepared for at all.
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
This is one of the first times that we've seen Will Smith, the human being, dealing with being in his own household with his wife. This is not the Will Smith that battles the aliens. This is not the Will Smith that was portraying Muhammad Ali. This is not the Will Smith in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. This is Will Smith, the man who's been married for 25 years with a demon witch. Let's proceed.
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start rolling. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
And the question about that is, how did this even go live? If she just recorded it, how did it get into anyone else's hand? I mean, she still chose to post it. Holy moly. I could keep going.
Again, let me say this. It took everything, every fiber of Will Smith's being not to lose control at that moment. Quite simply, he had been fed up. And yet again, here we are with Jada taking every opportunity to embarrass Will at every beck and call. Embarrass Will at every beck and call. I don't know how you could take it, but quite simply, let me just finish this.
But the list goes on and on and on. At the end of the day, gentlemen, do understand that smart people learn from their mistakes, but wise people learn from the mistakes of others. There is no amount of love or romance or fixing her that will turn a witch into a helpmate. Will Smith should have gone out like the G that everybody thought that he was. Denzel's going out like that right now. Shout out to Denzel. But instead, Will's image is now turned into a meme. All because you believed in love with the wrong one.
You cannot convince me that Jada... Please listen to this. Please listen to this. Chiseled Adonis breaks this down so eloquently well. Shout out to MTR. Shout out to Chiseled Adonis. This man took a surgeon's knife to this relationship and dissected it for what it was. Listen to this. It's so funny and so poignant. Listen. I'll let it play through. I'm not going to stop it.
Pickett Smith is not Bobbity. She's a homunculus. She's Bobbity up this motherfucker. You cannot convince me that she don't got one of the greatest genjutsus ever cast upon another human being in the history of man. Shorty talking about she been separated since 2016. I'm pretty sure she was aware that she was separated, but Will probably ain't know. You had this man slap one of his closest friends for 30 plus years live in front of a national televised audience talking about keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. And little did she know that Jada considered him her ex-husband. A strange primary court appointment. She got no respect for you, bro. Every single morning she wake up thinking about 1 + 1 = Tupac. News broke last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever the time just so happened to be, that they done arrested this man's alleged murderer. And I'm pretty sure she walked around with all kinds of secretion dripping down her doggone panty line, bro. I'm telling you right now, release Will Smith from this genjutsu, bro. Because there ain't been no media that has broken, that had Will Smith looking in the positive light, bro. Everything got this man looking like he been taking L's since 1997. Save this man. Save this man and eviscerate this Bobbity casted woman.
Shout out to my friend.
Stop there. Oh my God. One of the greatest tirades I have ever heard in my natural life. Shout out to Chiseled Adonis. My goodness. Shout out to MTR for bringing this to the fore. This is absolute gold. I gotta hear it again. I don't care. I don't care. I literally don't care. I'm playing it twice because it's so nice. I'm playing it twice because it's so nice. I used to be a rapper, you know. I'm playing it twice because it's so nice. Let me go again.
She's Bobbity up this motherfucker. You cannot convince me that she don't got one of the greatest genjutsus ever cast upon another human being in the history of man. Shorty talking about she been separated since 2016. I'm pretty sure she was aware that she was separated, but Will probably ain't know. You had this man slap one of his closest friends for 30 plus years live in front of a national televised audience talking about keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. And little did she know that Jada considered him her ex-husband. A strange primary court appointment. She got no respect for you, bro. Every single morning she wake up thinking about 1 + 1 = Tupac. News broke last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever the time just so happened to be, that they done arrested this man's alleged murderer. And I'm pretty sure she walked around with all kinds of secretion dripping down her doggone panty line, bro. I'm telling you right now, release Will Smith from this genjutsu, bro. Because there ain't been no media that has broken, that had Will Smith looking in the positive light, bro. Everything got this man looking like he been taking L's since 1997.
Tell it.
Save this man. Save this man.
Say it, Jesus.
Eviscerate this Bobbity casted woman.
Shout out to my friend Chip.
Oh my God. Shout out to MGR. Shout out to Chiseled Adonis. That was absolute gold. Let me tell you something. I will play that again at the end. I don't care. I am playing this again at the end. This is my prayer to Will. This is my prayer to Will Smith. I do not care. It must be said again and again and again. I call that the Will prayer. They got the Sierra prayer. I got the Will prayer. Chiseled Adonis just said the Will's prayer. Said the Will's prayer. Lord Jesus. Lord God. Okay. But I'm going to do a little short introspection here before we get into the crux of the matter. Let me just take a look for time here. Let me see what I got here. Okay. We're going to do this right quick, and then we're going to go into the final hour. And the final hour will be, all about who he should be moving to. Time to move on. Time to move past Jada. Time to move past it. Time to end it. They got me on my feet because of it. Time to end it. I'm going to let We Need to Talk spit a few facts here. before we go to the final hour with who I think he should be moving on with. And I don't care her state of play at the point. It's time that he invests in this one girl that I have in store for you. Let's go with this. And I hinted at it before, but if you stuck with me, you would know who it is. Let we need to talk, speak this out. A Will Smith case study. Let me just say that. And now, let him break it down this way.
If we want these things to change, from Will Smith to simp culture to minimizing Jada Pinkett Smith to minimizing these entitled women, from young women to older women, it starts with us understanding our power. We impregnate them with these ideas. We impregnate them with this audacity. And it's not until we start moving different, we start demanding more, that things change. And just like I said, this whole matador culture amongst men, these men who think that they are able to stop wild bulls because of their style and their pizzazz and how special their outfit is and the red cape that they have. And because of that, they seek out the biggest, most aggressive bull that they can find. Obviously, this is a metaphor for women. That needs to stop as well. You don't have anything to prove to yourself by conquering women. It's a waste of time. The only thing worth conquering is yourself. The only thing worth conquering is your mission in life. Pussy is not the greatest pleasure a man will experience. The greatest pleasure a man will experience is bringing forth an idea from his head to his hand. And when you start moving like that, you don't create or entertain nonsense. It's easier to spot non-marriageable women. And I know pop culture doesn't even make that distinction, but the reality is a lot of women are not marriage material, if that's what you're looking for. They're not relationship material. They're not friend material. And that's not to say they're bad people. It's just to say they're not yours. And there's no...
Take that last sentence in. Some women are not marriageable material. Some women have already been taken. It's just you have taken up space. That woman was already taken by Tupac. You were always going to be second best, Will. Unfortunately. Despite whatever you did, no matter how high and how great your career ever was, no matter how well you took care of these kids, let me tell you something. She would never hold you above the Tupac. You'll always be considered second best. Why the hell are you still there? Why are you still there? I understand. You got a career. You got an image. But at the end of the day, sometimes you got to just throw caution to the wind and say, hey, this is not helping my mental state. And I'm exhibiting it in very abnormal ways for the world to see. It's time to move on. Will, I'll let my man finish.
No amount of proving, like that doesn't change when you put a ring on it, contrary to popular opinion. That doesn't change when you start making more money. That doesn't change when you lose weight. That doesn't change when she loses weight. Check any of my case studies or any of my revised episodes. It doesn't change. The only thing you can control is what you tolerate. And what you tolerate will dictate the type of people, not just women, but people that gravitate towards you. I'll leave you guys with this. You could tell a lot by looking at pictures of couples. You can tell the power dynamic. You can tell if this is a woman.
You could tell. You can see here on Talk Live. Look at those two pictures side by side. Who's loving who? Look! That is her first and only love in this world is Tupac. That man is an imposter. That man is good enough because he could supply her with the lifestyle she wanted, but she could not give the love he wanted back to him. No chance. And he was left to hold the psychological baggage. He tried at every beck and turn to make this woman a wife, and she rebelled at every beck and turn. Every single beck and turn. And all we have left is a hollow vessel. She cleaned him out. Clearly, psychologically, cleaned him out. To the point where he acted out of character. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Look at this picture.
Woman who reveres the man that she's with. Or you could tell if this is a woman who's just settling for a guy, whereas she has another ideal of who she would actually rather be with. But unfortunately, it's become so normal that we think that that's how it's supposed to be. We grow up with these cartoons, with these movies that show that the guy is just happy
back for the third hour.
He lucked up and got a woman way
in
out
just
of
a
his
bit.
league,
Stay tuned.
He should be thankful. That's going to have to change. Because if it doesn't, we'll continue to see more Jada Pinkett's, more Will Smiths, and more situations that make us black men look terrible publicly. And I'm happy that the next generation of black boys and men, they're starting to see some of these inconsistencies. And I hope we are also starting to see how we play a part in some of this consistent and persistent disrespect and disregard for us, our interests, and our humanity. So we can spend time talking about Jada.
No. I need you to hear this again. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live for the third hour, the final hour here. And I need you to hear this again because you missed a lot. I'm going back to the picture. You missed a lot here. I know. I'm just going in with it. Sponsored by Dun Talk, DUNTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I'm just going into the final hour. Let me play this again.
This is a woman who reveres the man that she's with. Or you could tell if this is a woman who's just settling for a guy, whereas she has another ideal of who she would actually rather be with. But unfortunately, it's become so normal that we think that that's how it's supposed to be. We grow up with these cartoons, with these movies that show that the guy is just happy to be there. He lucked up and got a woman way out of his league, so he should be thankful. That's going to have to change. Because if it doesn't, we'll continue to see more Jada Pinkett's, more Will Smiths, and more situations that make us black men look terrible publicly. And I'm happy that the next generation of black boys and men, they're starting to see some of these inconsistencies. And I hope we are also starting to see how we play a part in some of this consistent and persistent disrespect and disregard for us, our interests, and our humanity.
Stop right there. Look at this image. You can see it here on Talk Live on YouTube. Look at it. I love We Need to Talk. This man pulls no punches and gets straight to the point. Who is the puppet master? And who is the puppeteer? Who is the puppet? Sorry. Who is the puppet here? Who is the puppet master here? Who's had Will Smith dance for the last 25 years to please her, and all she did was laugh in his face and disrespect him at every beck and call?
So we can spend time talking about Jada, or we can actually turn the mirror around and look at ourselves. Will brought this on himself. He deserves it. I don't feel bad for him. So if you're in a situation like Will, get out, because that's where your power lies. But if you stay and you endure the disrespect and the disregard, I won't feel bad for you. Like, share, subscribe. See y'all in the next one. Peace.
That's all I gotta say. Well said on the part of We Need to Talk. There's nothing else to say. We Need to Talk has said it clearly, plainly, and as honestly as can be made. Will Smith needs to get out of this relationship. And if the book from Jada Pinkett Smith is a testament to that, so be it. So be it. Get him out of there. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care how much he has to believe in it, so the reputation hit it takes, all of it is worth it for his own peace of mind, for his own sanity. Because Jada has made it her life's work to make this man into a puppet. Her own ever-loving, ever-dancing puppet. And it's such a sad sight to see from one of the greater entertainers of the last 20 to 30 years. For a woman to make it her life's work. Her life's work. To make this man look like a fool. But hey, we've already answered the question. Should Will Smith leave? Yes. Get out of there. Absolutely. Take whatever hit you got and move on, because your kids are somewhat messed up. Jada is all the way messed up. And they're taking you down with you, Will. Please, for the love of Christ, get out of there. And I'll tell you where to go. Let me tell you where to go, Will. Now again, I may be breaking some rules here. And Will may already have some partner in mind, but I have one who will run to Will and rescue him from this folly. Run! You know who that is? I have a picture right here. There she is. Margot Robbie. I was wondering if you were paying attention earlier on in the show, but it's Margot Robbie. Yes, she's married. We understand that. But let me say this. If Adele can leave and find a Rich Paul, Margot Robbie can leave and find Will Smith. Guaranteed. Let me say that again. If Adele can find Rich Paul, leave her husband and find Rich Paul, Margot Robbie can definitely leave her husband at the time. I'm not here for breaking up things. I'm just showing you how it is. And I'm going to show you proof. She could definitely leave and get back with Will Smith. Because I believe this woman truly loves Will Smith. This is a woman who would tick all the boxes for him. She would wash his dirty drawers. She would cook and clean. She doesn't need to do it, but she would for Will. She'll be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive to Will Smith. I guarantee you that. You don't believe me? Remember these guys have done 2 movies together. They did Suicide Squad. And Margot Robbie. Do you believe this? They have that searchable more greater than Jada Smith. Oh my gosh. Margot Robbie. Movies. I think it was Focus. That's the one. Focus was the first, and then came Suicide Squad. This woman cannot hide her affection. True, unadulterated love for Will Smith. Can't hide it. Can't hide it. This is a woman that I understand about I understand about the race, the skin tone, and all that, but this woman will truly give Will Smith what she needs. Truly. I guarantee you, if Will asks her to take a step back in her career to have his babies, guess what she's doing? She's having his babies. Guaranteed. Just like Adele. She took a step back from her career to make sure she's having Will Paul's babies. Rich Paul's babies. She's making sure of that. Making sure of that. Suicide Squad and Focus. These two, their chemistry could not be denied. They are into each other bad. I don't know if well, there are rumors that they had an affair. Quite simply. They share a cordial relationship. Both deny certain things, but just saying. You need proof? Okay, let's get into this. We have the body language guy doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. Like, subscribe, comment to the body language guy. He's done an in-depth, deep dive into the interactions of Will Smith and Margot Robbie over their last two movies and their careers. And let me tell you, it is eye-opening. It is quite revealing. And I think Jada sees this woman as a definite threat. She's recently I think in 2016 was recently married, but believe me, as much as I believe in marriage, as much as I believe in not breaking up happy homes, this woman will definitely break up a happy home to be with Will. I don't know how happy it is, but you get my point. Let me just bring you through this, and then we'll talk at the end of the show and end it with my Will's prayer. Let me get into this. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's go.
Just in case you're not aware of the situation between Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. As far as 2016, there were rumors that Jada had something besides a friendship with singer August Alsina. In April of that year, the family went to Hawaii, but Will did not appear in any of those pictures. Last June, Alsina dropped all the beans on an interview and revealed that they actually were together for many years with Smith's blessing. That led Jada to bring herself to her show Red Table and talk face-to-face with Will about her entanglement.
An entanglement?
Yes, an entanglement.
A relationship.
Oh, right. A relationship. But to be fair, we should go back a few years to understand where all this came from.
We have to go back.
In October 25th, 2013, Smith and Robbie were wrapping up filming of the movie Focus. That day, they went to a photo booth and took a few pictures where they can be seen really close together and taking their shirts off. And yes, that last sentence sounded like a teenage dream. The photos don't need further analysis. They are really close together, and even if they were, like Robbie said, goofing around, you can do a very simple test. Just imagine that your partner or spouse does this with a colleague. A friendly reminder. Only Smith was married at this point, and she was still months away from having any relationship with her future husband, Tom Ackerley. 2 weeks later, the photos were leaked and the rumors began. Now, many people play the card of the supposed open marriage.
Just saying. You think I was lying? I came with facts, data, and statistics, people. You think I was lying? What's that? You didn't know this was happening? This was going on? Yeah. Since 2013, these guys were, friends. Yeah. And those were some friendly picks. Let's continue.
Between Will and Jada, and I think it's their fault because as far as 2008, when the smartphones still had buttons, both of them said over and over again that they had a grown relationship and they were not going to police each other. Well, this is what trust brings to a relationship. As in, I don't control you, I don't own you.
Remember what I said earlier on. I said that at that time, remember, part of Will Smith's entourage who went to my aunt's place. Yes, I know this is very, very secondhand, very, very much hearsay, and it wouldn't be admissible with evidence. They said themselves that even at that time, in 2008, 2009, 2010, early teens, that they were in an open relationship. Clearly. He was allowed to see who he wanted. Jada was allowed to see what she wanted. Either men or women. But they wouldn't break up. And part of that, let me just make sure that I know it, that 249 was, you guessed it, Ms. Robbie. Ms. Robbie. Even then. Let's continue.
Also could be understood that any of them could do whatever they please. And once public opinion crystallized that concept, there was no clarification that could bring it back, even if Jada explicitly said that they were not in an open relationship. But you know how it's show business. Rumors all the time, like when Mark Anthony and J-Lo split up, and he was very close with Jada at the time. But one image is worth 1,000 gossip headlines, and it was not only the photo booth pics that caught attention. And as in every body language analysis, you need many images and videos to arrive at any decent conclusion. So let's start with this pic from 2013. The main theme of all the situations is how their bodies interact. And here, they are standing really close to one another. Yes, she's turning to give that model pose with one foot forward, but even so, she's inside his intimate zone. That's how we call the closest range of human interaction in proxemics. Other times, it's not just a matter of proximity, but also of mirroring. In this picture on set, we see a few characteristics of a synchronized couple. First, their body angles are complementary of each other. Their hands are fully embracing the other, and even their opposite arms are mirroring. We also see an almost hidden tip in her feet. She's standing in the same foot forward model pose, but you can spot one of her ankles relax. Being in such a close proximity with Smith, it means that she's really comfortable with him. Now, big question.
Stop right there. If you've ever studied body language, you know about mirroring. You know about posing. You know about being in intimate zones. The man is literally telling you what's going on between these two. And it ain't just, oh, we're colleagues and we're just, no. No. There was a romance coming on. There was a deep-seated romance that happened before she even met her husband today. That's why I say there's always a chance of Will Smith coming back for Margot Robbie. It is unmistakable. More proof to come.
How do we know if Robbie doesn't do this all the time? How do we know that her attitude with Smith was special? We should always do some research to compare situations, and you can see, for example, that she doesn't have the same vibe with Leo DiCaprio. Her stance is much more neutral, and in some cases, she keeps her distance. But the distance between people is just one factor among many, and we have to consider how many times do they touch. When a woman likes a man, she will find any opportunity to casually touch him, and depending on how she touches, you can measure the intensity of the feeling. Take, for instance, this interview in 2016.
But here's the real idea.
Chip.
You don't think that's light banter? You know, inconsequential contacts? Oh no. They have been palling around throughout that press junket. I think that was for Suicide Squad. They are very, very touchy-feely. When you're touchy-feely with someone, he's right. When you're touchy-feely with someone, there's only one way it goes. Recently, I was touchy-feely with someone too. Just saying.
Puts her hand in Smith's leg for absolutely no
And it was a girl. Stop thinking that way.
reason. He does the same to her, tickling and sparking a reaction. And by the way, she was still 4 months away from getting married. At this point, we should make a very important distinction between two meanings of any gesture. Every gesture has many dimensions, but we are going to focus on two. The first one is the biological or anthropological meaning. That gesture is a sign of close contact. Again, she feels comfortable with him and will try to touch him for no particular reason. Touch is a very intimate gesture for any human being, and that's where the second meaning comes from. There are cultures where people touch more than others, and inside the same culture, you're gonna find people that think this is no big deal and others that will feel uneasy about it. That's a discussion that's never gonna end, but discussion or not, the biological meaning of touch will not go away. All these body language clues, whether in relationships or entanglements, also apply when you want to know if someone likes you. But you can't just pick one or two signals and jump to conclusions. You need a better system to read body language. And that's why I created my online body language course that right now has a huge discount that you can access.
Let's move on.
They like each other. But look what happens a few minutes later. Her body is beginning to slack in the chair and her legs are getting closer to him. That's a tip
Rewind it back. Go
around
again.
the same date that has very good clues on how they feel about each other. Watch their body position at the start of the interview. No big deal, right? There's absolutely nothing that says that they like each other. But look what happens a few minutes later. Her body is beginning to slack in the chair and her legs are getting closer to him. That's a tip that reinforces the notion that she unconsciously wants to get closer. Now, I have talked a lot about Robbie and not much about Smith. But the fact is that people like Will Smith are really hard to analyze because they have almost always the same attitude. Smith is usually smiling, playful, charismatic. So how do we know if he's really into her? Well, no matter if someone is always in a good mood, the facial expressions are going to be complete and intense when they really feel that emotion. There are moments like this when you see that all face muscles are working, expressing that delight. When you are reading body language, there is also cause and effect. And if you're reading a couple, you gotta be aware of which gestures in one of them trigger reactions on the other. And I noticed that in that same interview, Robbie was sitting in the original position until Smith began to stroke his own legs. Well, I could give you a scientific explanation, but instead, let's make a very easy experiment. You just have to see this clip. You just saw a bunch of pixels, but I know that you felt that. And it's the same principle that could have triggered Robbie's reaction. She feels comfortable, she likes Smith's attitude, and she ends up feeling those leg strokes. That's why she gets her own legs closer to him. There's also the
Are you picking up what we're putting down here? Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. This is so revealing. So revealing. She's literally mimicking his stroke of the leg with her slouch on the chair. Meaning she wants to get closer to him. Any way she can. I have no doubt these guys will act in another movie again. No doubt about it. But there's more. We'll talk about that in a minute. More proof! Let's continue.
Expression on her face. She usually smiles a lot, but as any human being, she's had her fair share of fake smiles. But that look, when you see a full smile, when even if you have strong lights pointing to your face, your pupils are dilated and there's that something that you can't express with words. It shows that she likes what she's seeing. There are many other examples of how comfortable they feel with each other. And that chemistry, well, you can't make that up. Oh, I almost forgot this candid photo on the set of Suicide Squad. That look, though. So, coming back to Jada, we can get a better picture of what the year 2016 meant for her marriage with Will. And maybe we can understand what she meant when she said that she wanted to feel good. Of course, it will be impossible to know if Will Smith and Margot Robbie actually had an affair. But all the clues that we've seen point to a relationship that goes beyond professional. And if Jada had an entanglement...
A relationship.
Yes, a relationship that started in 2016, whatever happened between Will and Margot happened 3 years earlier. And the special question that you can ask to trigger the truth looks more like an affirmation. Just should. How long have you been seeing each other? And the trick of this question is that it's ambiguous. You're not talking about dating, you're not mentioning affairs or a relationship or...
An entanglement?
Yeah, you don't mention an entanglement either. When you ask an ambiguous question, you are forcing the person to add some meaning themselves. And in that split second, they're going to have a dual reaction, verbal and non-verbal. If they ask you to clarify the question, and they will, simply repeat the question. How long have you been seeing each other? Just act like you already know, and it's okay for them to talk about it.
You never know what you're going to get.
Exactly. One final thought.
You cannot create...
Before we go on into... I hope you're watching this, because this is clear, unadulterated affection for each other. Clear, let me say this. She looks into Will Smith's eyes the way Jada looked into Tupac's. It's clear as day. Look at this photo right here. Look at this freeze frame. She can't stop smiling. She cannot wait to get beside this man. That love scene in that movie Focus must have been very easy to do. Extremely easy for him to do. And, as he says, you cannot create chemistry. No. This is not chemistry. This is... Can we say lust? Yeah.
No, you can't.
It's like you can't. There's nothing you can do. Like you either whatever those things are inside of human beings that.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any of my.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you. Shout out to the body language guy. He's done wonderful things in YouTube streets. But let me just hold it. Let me get a shot here. A very good shot between the two of them. Let's see here. Wait. And then we're going to just end out like this. I mean, there it is. Let me say this, people. No. Let me say this, people. There's no mistaking it. These two, here we go. That's the one. These two
together and taking their shirts off.
These two are not playing around. These two were after each other. It's just that their lives could not allow it to happen. But let it be said, this, I know we're talking about, I see the race. I see it. But this woman right here has a natural affinity for Will Smith. She would make his life so much better than what he has right now. I guarantee you that. This woman will go for... This woman will do whatever it takes to make that man happy. She'll do it. She'll do it in a heartbeat. These pictures don't tell lies. These pictures don't tell lies. They are really, these are boyfriend, girlfriend material pictures. These are the pictures you take before you get it on. When you just have that little bit too much to drink and you don't know what to do with each other, you have time, space, and opportunity, and bam, it's on. We've all been there. If you're lucky enough, you've been there too. So let me, that is unmistakable. That is unmistakable chemistry. That is unmistakable affection. This girl loves the pants off Will Smith. She may be married now, but let me say this. If young enough and he calls on Margot to come in, she's coming running. She's running to him. But it's up to Will to make the first move. It's up to Will to make the first move. No doubt about it. Let me get back to the big screen. And then we're going to finish off with the Will's prayer. We're going to finish off with Will's prayer, but let me just get back to the big screen here. Here we go. We've been there. We've done that. We've seen it all. It's 2 hours, 30 minutes in. Oh, Avatar says something here. Yep, so they can both be, let me see, wait a second here. There we go. Avatar says, yep, so both they can both ride off into the sunset to go live their best lives. Whatever that might look like. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, Avatar, for that thing. I mean, yeah. Yeah. It's time. It's time. It's time that the facade is over with. And I think as much as Jada's tried to tear down Will, as much as Jada's tried to mess his career up, and she has, I think she is doing Will a favor by writing this book. She's doing him a favor because she is giving him an out to a better place, and that better place can be found. I said can, not saying will, not saying, pardon the pun, not saying will, but it can be found with Margot Robbie or someone of his ilk, someone who will love him the way he deserves to be loved, because Jada isn't doing it. She's not doing it. She keeps throwing Tupac in her face. She tries to embarrass him at every beck and call. It is embarrassing. It is literally embarrassing, and it needs to stop now. And Margot, if you're listening, I would give Will a text or a call and let him know that you're here for them. You're here for him, especially if he needs a shoulder cry. Just say. But it's time for Will to move on. Yes, and if it's with Margot Robbie, so be it, because she still, I believe, holds a flame for Will. I totally believe that. And that's who Will deserves. Time to stop being a doormat to your family. Stop being a doormat to Jada, who embarrasses you at every beck and call, despite all of that you have done for her and for her family. It needs to stop now. I'll finish off with this. I'm just going to take it out with this right here. And I once again repeat the prayer of Will from my man Chiseled Adonis. Let me get this back here. Oopsie. Let me get back on. Oh, yeah, here we go. Back to the browser. Yes. Back here. Yes. Let me do this. Chisel Adonis, please, one more prayer, one more invocation before we take it out of here. Thank you very much for joining me at Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Will and Jada, should he leave? Yes. With whom? Hopefully Margot Robbie. Let's bring it into existence. Let's go.
You cannot convince me that Jada Pinkett Smith is not Bobbity. She's a homunculus. She's Bobbity up this motherfucker. You cannot convince me that she don't got one of the greatest genjutsus ever cast upon another human being in the history of man. Shorty talking about she been separated since 2016. I'm pretty sure she was aware that she was separated, but Will probably ain't know. You had this man slap one of his closest friends for 30 plus years live in front of a national televised audience talking about keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. And little did she know that Jada considered him her ex-husband. A strange primary court appointment. She got no respect for you, bro. Every single morning she wake up thinking about 1 + 1 = Tupac. News broke last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever the time just so happened to be, that they done arrested this man's alleged murderer. And I'm pretty sure she walked around with all kinds of secretion dripping down her doggone panting line, bro. I'm telling you right now, release Will Smith from this genjutsu, bro. Because there ain't been no media that has broken, that had Will Smith looking in the positive light, bro. Everything got this man looking like he been taking L's since 1997. Save this man, and eviscerate this Bobbity-casted woman.
Shout out to my friend.
Good night from Toronto.